Welcome back. We're going to continue with our reading of the Bible. We read 5 pages a day. We start in Genesis and we'll end in Revelation. I'm reading from the New King James Version of the Bible, and we're in chapter 36. Now, this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Ahalabah, the daughter of Aniah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nehaboth. Now Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau, and Basemath bore Ruel, and Ahalabeth bore Jeush, Jalem, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau, who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the persons of his household, his cattle and his animals, and all his goods which he had gained in the land of Canaan, and went to a country away from the presence of his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to dwell together. And the land they were strange, and the land where they were, strangers could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Now, this is the genealogy of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau, and Ruel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Now Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Ruel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Ahalabeth, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, and she bore to Esau Jeush, Jalem, and Korah. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, were Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zepho, Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, and Chief Amalek. These were the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Ada. These were the sons of Ruel, Esau's sons: Chief Nahath, Chief Zerah, Chief Shammah, Chief Mizah. These were the sons of Ruel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Ahalabahma, Esau's wife, Chief Jeush, Chief Jalem, and Chief Korah. These were the chiefs who descended from Ahalabama, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anah. These were the sons of of Esau, who is Edom, and these were their chiefs. These were the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lodan, Shabal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. And the sons of Lotan were Hori and Haman. Lodan's sister was Timnah. These were the sons of Shabal: Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Anam. These were the sons of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was the Anna who found the water in the wilderness as he pastured the donkeys of his father Zibeon. These were the children of Anna, Dishon and Ahalabamah, the daughter of Anah. These were the sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Sharon. These were the sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zaphon, and Akan. These were the sons of Dishran, Uz, and Aran. These were the chiefs of the Horites, the chief Lodan, chief Shabal, chief Zibeon, chief Anna, chief Dishon, chief Ezer, and chief Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites according to the chiefs in the land of Seir. Now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And when Bela died, Jobab, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham of the land of Temanites reigned in his place. And when Husham died, Hadad, the son of Bedad, who attacked Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. And the name of his city was Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place. And when Samlah died, Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his place. And when Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, died, Hadar reigned in his place, and the name of his city was Puah. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred and the daughter of Mezahah. And these were the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their families and their places by their names. Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jetheth, Chief Ahalabma, Chief Elah, Chief Pinion, Chief Kenez, Chief Teman, Chief Mibnar, Chief Magdiel, Chief Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Esau was the father of the Edomites. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. Oh, I kept reading. Thank you for bearing with me with the names of the people from that time and that place. It is not easy. But in this chapter, chapter 26, we saw the family of Esau. And one of the things I really want to point out was Amalek, his son Amalek. So these were the descendants, his descendants were the Amalekites. So they came from Esau's bloodline. So when we think about Esau's family, it reminds us that everyone has a history. And when you go back and look at history, you can see where are the etiology of some of the ideations of the family and the history of the family, which shows you what has happened in that bloodline. So let's continue on to chapter 37. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. This is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report to them of them to his father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, "Please hear this dream which I have dreamed." There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And indeed, your sheaf stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. And his brothers said to him, "Shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers and said, "Look, I have dreamed another dream. And this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me." So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?" And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." So he said to him, "Here I am." Then he said to him, "Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me." So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was, wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" So he said, "I'm seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks." And the man said, "They have departed from here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Then they said to one another, "Look, this dreamer is coming. Come, therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, 'Some wild beast has devoured him.' We shall see what will become of his dreams." Now Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, "Let us not kill him." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hands and bring him back to his father." So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh." And his brothers listened. Then Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. Then Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. And he returned to his brothers and said, "The lad is no more, and I, where shall I go?" So they took Joseph's tunic, killed a kid of goats, and dipped the tunic in the blood. Then they sent the tunic of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, "We have found this. Do you know where it is your son's, whether it is your son's tunic or not?" And he recognized it. "It is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt, Joseph is torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, "For I shall go down into the grave, my son, in mourning. For I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning." Thus his father wept for him. Now the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. So we see in this chapter that Israel's son that he bore with Rachel, who had already died, and this was his favorite son. It was one of his younger sons, not his youngest. Benjamin is the youngest. And we see that he favored him, he'd given him this tunic of many colors, but not only was Joseph favored by his father, Israel, he was also favored by God. So God gave him several dreams about what was to come in his future, how he would be in a position in which his family would have to bow down to him. And this angered his brothers. So they conspired together to kill him originally, but then they decided that it was better that they sell him instead. So they sold him. And so let's continue on reading. Before we continue on, let's talk about how you share your dreams. Many times, if you're a dreamer, God will give you intel about your future, and you have to use wisdom about sharing your dreams with others. There are some dreams that God gives us that He wants us to share because one, it might edify, one, it might warn someone, or it could just be encouragement for someone. And He will let you know when to share that dream and when not to. Some dreams you have to hold in your heart for the right time. Some dreams are only for you and to never be shared. So use wisdom with your dreams. So let's continue on to chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah departed from his brothers and visited a certain Adullamite whose name was Hirah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he married her and went into her. So she conceived and bore a son. And he called his name She conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she conceived yet again and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. He was at Shezib when she was born, when she bore him. Then Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord killed him. And Judah said to Onan, "Go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up an heir to your brother." But Onan knew that the heir would not be his. And it came to pass when he went in to his brother's wife that he admitted on the ground, lest she should give an heir to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord. Therefore he killed him also. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house till my son Shelah is grown. For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now, in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up to his sheep shearers at Timnah, he and his friend Hirah the Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. So she took off her widow's garments, covered herself with a veil, and wrapped herself and sat in an open place which was on the way to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a harlot, because she had covered her face. Then he turned to her by the way and said, please let me come in to you, for he did not know she was his daughter-in-law. So she said, what will you give me that you may come into me? And he said, I will send a young goat from the flock. So she said, will you give me a pledge till you send it? Then he said, what pledge shall I give you? So she said, your signet and cord and your staff that is in your hand. Then he gave them to her and went in to her, and she conceived by him. So she arose and went away and laid aside her veil and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend the Adullamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand. But he did not find her. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot who was openly by the roadside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. So he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. Also, the men of this place said, there was no harlot in this place. Then Judah said, let her take them for herself, lest we be shamed. For I sent this young goat, and you have not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months later that Judah was told, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the harlot. Furthermore, she is with child by harlotry. So Judah said, bring her out and let her be burned. When she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man to whom these belong, I am with child. And she said, please determine whose these are, the signet and cord and staff. So Judah acknowledged them, and she said, she has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her Shelah, my son. And he never knew her again. Now it came to pass at the time for giving birth that, behold, twins were in her womb. And so it was when she was giving birth that the one put out its hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread and bound it on his hand, saying, this one came out first. Then it happened, as he drew back his hand, that his brother came out unexpectedly, and she said, how did you break through? This breach be upon you. Therefore his name was called Perez. Afterward his brother came out, who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. So this chapter told us about something that happened in the line of Judah. So Judah and, Judah saw their daughter of a certain Canaanite was Shua, and married her and went into her. And then we see how Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But was wicked, and the Lord killed her. And then he said to Onan, his brother, to go into Tamar so that the lineage of Judah could continue on and have a child with her. But Onan refused to have a child with Tamar. So he emitted on the ground instead of consummating with Tamar. So the Lord killed him also. And so Judah became worried. He did still have another son, but his son was young. And so he told Tamar to wait until his youngest son was old enough and he would give his youngest son as a husband to Tamar so that she could bear a child. But Judah did not keep this promise, likely out of fear that he would lose this son also if she did not bear a child and anger the Lord and the Lord kill him. So Tamar tricked Judah into sleeping with her by posing as a prostitute. And then she reveals that it was Judah who slept with her through harlotry, and he confesses and acknowledges that he had done her wrong by not giving her his youngest son. So now let's continue on to chapter 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master of the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had be put under his authority. So it was from the time that he had made him overseer of his house and all that he had that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field. Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Look, my master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There's no one greater in this house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" So it was as she spoke to Joseph day by day that he did not heed her, to lie with her, or to be with her. But it happened about this time when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. And so it was when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, "See, he has brought in to us a Hebrew to mock us. He came to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice, and it happened, when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled and went outside. So she kept his garment with her until his master came home. Then she spoke to him with words like these, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came to me to mock me. So it happened as I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled outside. So it was when his master heard the words which his wife spoke to him, saying, Your servant did to me after this manner, that his anger was aroused. Then Joseph's master took him and put him into prison on a place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy, and he gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever they did there, it was his doing. The keeper of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because the Lord was with him. And whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. So we had a previous interruption in the story of Joseph, and now we're back to Joseph's story. And we see in this chapter that Joseph is now in a servant in Potiphar's house, but he's elevated in his house because he finds favor with God. And so he basically is in command of everything in the house of Potiphar. And Potiphar's wife found him attractive and wanted to sleep with him, but Joseph refused her. And so the second time she tried to sleep with him, Joseph again refused her. But in his trying to flee from her, he left some of his garment in her hand, and she framed him, saying that he tried to overtake her and sleep with her. And so this angered Potiphar, and he put him in prison. And even in prison, Joseph was found favor. So that is our 5 pages for the day. Thank you for being faithful again. It's a labor of love, reading 5 chapters a day, coming to you. I hope you find encouragement and support as you read daily your 5 pages, whether you do it with me or on your own. I also hope that you're encouraged and strengthened to keep going on. It's His goodness, His mercy, His favor that helps us along the way. So I'll see you again on tomorrow. We'll read 5 more pages. Be encouraged and stay faithful.